here, because with the zone, sometimes you get to watch fights. The first ones, like in this case, was in the UK, was in Dublin, so you get to watch them early. That's why I love them, because I'm in my feety pajamas by 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock. But the truth of the matter is I always notice the fans, and I'm looking at the fans because I want to see, first of all, how crowded it is, right? Are the fans excited? Are they into the fight? And what types of fans are there? And the one thing that I always say about the UK fighters is that the UK fans is that there's always a diversified crowd. I see kids, young kids that are probably, fighting in the amateurs or something. I say young, they're not pushing strollers, but kids, maybe, 10 to 18, whatever, that age, maybe even a little younger, maybe 7, 8 years old. But, they're there, young boys, young girls, girls, females, women, how much for the women, they're there, whether they're there with guys or I've seen gaggles of women there, all different ages, guys, with them, all different ages, and they're having fun. Granted, they drink all that beer, but they're having fun and they're cheering and they know what's going on in the fights, and they follow their fans, and they don't, bail on their fans after their fighters. The fans don't bail on their fighters after a potential loss or a bad showing or something. Then you look at the U.S. boxing fans, and sometimes they cheer. They typically cheer for their guy, and if their guy isn't doing well, they're pretty much sitting on their hands, and I don't know what else they're doing, but they're not cheering, they're not clapping, they're not trying to get their fighters going. The other thing is, you see, it's a fashion show in the United States. You watch a top fight, it's a fashion show. The way everybody dresses, it's like they're hoping they get their time on TV. It's been like that for years. You go back to the great Ali Frazier fights, and you saw some pretty pimped out people. But that's what they do, and the crowds, they're not as diversified as the Brits. They're just not. Very rarely do I see kids. I see kids that may be children of fighters that are fighting or something like that. But not kids, it could be because the fights are on so much later, but, they're on late too over on the other side of the pond. It's just early for us. But, anyway, big difference in the fans. All right.